With an opening statement from Coach, and then we will take some questions.
Obviously, it was a disappointing result and end and finish to the game today. As we leave the non-conference and move into the conference games, that's not how we wanted to end the non-conference games. We were able to, through the non-conference, we were able to learn a lot of lessons for this young team. Our leadership, is continuing to help us grow. For us as coaches, starting with me, I will make sure that we are more consistent from drive to drive, quarter to quarter, as we've shown as we started this game, but did not have a consistency throughout it. Offensively, we were able to put some points up early in the game, and we went on a dry spell there where we didn't score until later in the game, and when we put Mad Dog in, and obviously Mad Dog did a nice job leading the team down the field on 2 drives where we're really efficient in the pass game, and we're able to put points up on the board in a very quick manner. Late in the game, we needed a defensive stop, and we didn't get it. That comes down to me. I've got to do a better job making sure that we're prepared for all situations on the defense side of the ball, and making sure that we understand the different field zones and how we're going to play those field zones, given the down and distance and the situations, and make sure that not only we can leverage formations, but handle run plays and pass plays given. And we've done it before, and I will make sure as we move forward in a conference play, we do a better job with that. In the special teams game, we say every week it's going to come down to a play, and it certainly did today. In a situation where we had an opportunity to put points on the board, it was a flip of points, and it goes the other way as we got a field goal block. So things that we can correct that can't happen in critical situations like that, and we must learn to move forward again as we go into conference play.
Since you finished with the field goal, I guess we'll start with that. What was kind of your decision there? You originally going to go for it?
Right, we were looking for a certain look, and to be able to get that look as the offense was working on the field, and the time was getting low on the play clock. So, we wanted to go for it. We had a certain play called, and to take advantage of a certain look we were anticipating, and we weren't able to get that look. So the goal there was to absolutely get points on the board, and we didn't get that done ultimately. We felt like we had an opportunity to even maybe get 7, if not 7, then at least get 3.
Obviously, you're not expecting that to happen, but how do you weigh the 3 versus if you go for it and don't get it, they've got to go the full length of the field there? I mean, what kind of goes into the process of deciding to go, other than the look?
It's not that complicated. We get the look we want, we go for it on 4th. If we don't, we kick the field goal. We got a very good field goal kicker.
You say get the look you want. You guys snapped the ball, so you had the look for a long time. Like, why did it take so long to call the timeout there?
We called the timeout, and by the time the refs in the middle of the field heard the whistle blown, they'd already snapped the ball. But
anyway, obviously there's a decision made there with Taylor at the end of the game.
Yeah.
What went into that, and what did you see?
Yeah, we knew going into the game that we were going to give Mad Dog a drive, the third series of the game. We want to continue to build the depth of our team. He obviously showed today that he is very efficient in the pass game. And so as we moved later into the game, and it turned into a 2-score game, and we knew we were need to get points on the board pretty quickly, that was the option to go to. And not only did we spread the ball around, not only did we score the 2 touchdowns quickly, again, we needed a defense stop in that situation, and that's on me. We didn't get that defense stop. We get the defense stop. We saw what Mad Dog in the offense was doing at that point, and that's what we anticipated happening if Mad Dog went in the game.
Andy, what do you feel like the offense operates a little bit better, at least in the passing game with Maddox in there? I mean, it feels like everything's just a little more on time, or within the timing of the offense, I guess.
Yeah, his feel in terms of his reads and the progressions and going through it. I mean, he put the ball in some pretty tight windows. It wasn't like those were all easy throws, and it wasn't like guys were wide open. And so, again, there's a reason why we gave him an opportunity at the beginning of the game. We want to continue to develop everybody on our roster as we go into conference play. We've got a lot of games left to play, and we want to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the right position. As we move forward, we got 2 quarterbacks that are very capable, and so now finding the mixture of what that looks like, what's best for our offense, ultimately what's best for our team is, what we'll decide on as we move forward.
Will there be a competition between
Again, we'll look at what's best for our team, and we'll move forward.
So would you say that Taylor Green is still your starting quarterback?
We'll look at what's best for our team, and we'll move forward. But thank you for continuing to ask. I'm not going to make that decision right now. We're going to go back and we're going to watch film and we're going to evaluate. We're going to make decisions as we always do as a staff.
You mentioned the consistency, but I mean, to be up 17-0, your defense got off to such a hot start with some of the stops, and I mean, it just flipped pretty quickly.
Yeah, we gave up some explosive plays, BJ, there in the second quarter, and you know we were doing a great job playing with some, you know, playing in the run game, the pass game. We actually got lucky a little bit earlier before that on a, you know, on a play action where we lost our eyes, and you know. Zion did a great job falling into the window and broke a play up, but up until that point, we were doing a really good job. But in this game, that's all it takes. You know, we talk about, Coach D says it all the time, we live on the razor's edge on defense. If you give up explosive plays, it doesn't take much. And obviously we saw that today where, you know, we gave up 14 points there late in the second quarter and moving in, and we always talk about winning the end of the first half. We didn't get that done today. And we were unable to score, you know, points there in the third quarter and be productive with it. So when we look at it collectively, there's definitely things that we showed we can do well today, but we got to be more consistent with it. You can't come out and score 17 and then, you know, give up 14 and have a drought. Ultimately, that's on me, and I will make sure that the way we compete at practice, the way we incorporate more play at situations so that we can stay in the better flow of the game throughout the course of practice, we'll make sure we get that done.
I don't know if you've seen the play or if your coaches in the box were telling you, what did you think about that fumble there?
We didn't have a vantage point, and they didn't play it in the stadium very much. So the coaches in the box, you know, thought it was, you know, a splitting hairs call, and usually when it's that way, whatever way they call it first, they're not going to, you know, overturn it. So, you know, we were in a situation there where, you know, we fit the ball carrier in the backfield, and if we do a better job, you know, with our knockback tackling a positive angle situation, we're potentially not in that situation. You know, that's one thing that I felt like we did a much better job of today was our tackling. We emphasized that coming out of last week, and there were some really good open field tackles today.
That last drive, you guys, the last defensive drive, you know, they had 3 third down conversions. Just what were the struggles getting off the field there?
Well, we twofold. I mean, one of them, they subbed the personnel late, and we tried to match the personnel. And you know, our operation as coaches, we got to do a better job. That starts with me and making sure that we get the right group on the field and get the right call. And then in the second, you know, that last third down that they converted, you know, it's in the 4-down zone. We got to make sure that we have a defense that is set and capable to handle the run and the pass.
What did Maddox do so well today to lead the offense?
He was, you know, I think Jay said it best. I mean, shoot, he was very efficient in what he did. He saw the field and he completed passes. And again, in tight windows, he spread the ball around. There's a lot of guys with catches, you know, and they were productive. And it was showing we just get the ball in those guys' hands, and there was guys that had, you know, a lot of yards after catch. So that's a huge positive for us as we move forward, and how we will be able to continue to grow and expand off of that and combine it with the run game. It's, you know, on a day when you have 519 yards of total offense, but again, it's not always about, it's a lesson for the day, right? It's not always about the yards and what you do, because we put up all those yards, but we had a spout there where we weren't able to move. We weren't able to move the ball and put points on the board.
Last week you were saying, you know, you're going to run to win, and it seemed like you had a really good balance today. What did you think of the balance from Bush's play calls of?
Yeah, I mean, again, every week, I mean, it's dependent upon the team you're playing and what you're getting. That's the thing about football. You don't go in there and just keep doing what you're doing every week. This week, I mean, the reason why we hit on some of those plays, on the deeper shots, on the layered pass plays early on in the game, because they're flying up on the line of scrimmage, and so we anticipated that. We were able to get off to a faster start based off of what we saw on film and what they were going to have to do based off of what we did last week. And Bush did a nice job hitting some of those early on and putting the guys in position. We were able to move the ball down the field. We were able to score 17 points. Now, obviously, how we adjust and where we go from there. One of the biggest things that we adjusted on, you know, to get going in the run game in the second half was they had a couple of D tackles that we knew were going to be challenging in the middle, you know, in the middle of their front. That's been the strength of their defense. And so being able to run more outside zone schemes versus inside stuff helped us. It helped Ashton get going, spread the field a little bit, and we just got to have more of a balance with that and how we're attacking on the ground.
You look at your track record, and you've never really had a bad defense that often. You've obviously and there's a lot of season left, but how frustrating has it been, I guess, through 5 games? It just in key spots, key drives, key third downs, it just seems like plays we've seen in the past being made aren't being made right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the thing about it is I love this defense. I love this defense. I love the guys on there. I love how we have guys that have played a lot of football, guys that haven't played very much football. Now they have. Now we go in the conference, we finish out, with the non-conference, we can go in the conference play. As we just spoke about in the locker room, I know what we're going to come and do tomorrow when we go to practice. I know we're going to show up and what it's going to look like on Tuesday when we go to practice. That's the part about being a coach. You got to understand that it's going to take growth. It's going to take consistency. It's about us as coaches being persistent, as mentors, as coaches, and the expectations of, the things that, we're teaching and how we're developing. But, I've coached a lot of defense, and not all of them have, all of them look different. The way you get things done, it's not cookie cutter. We've got to do a good job making sure that things that we're working to put into game plan and take away what offenses, are doing well also fits who our personnel is and who our guys are.
If it doesn't have anything to do with the day or whatever, that's fine. I just saw Ahmed come up to you after the game. He's obviously a pretty emotional guy. Can you share anything that
No, we just had a personal conversation. We've been working again. There's an example. You ask about the defense. He's played. He's been here for 3 years and what he's been able to do, but he's in a full-time role now, and there's a lot that comes along with that, and how he's developing and how he's growing. I'll be honest with you, we make it very challenging. The standards are really high, and we want him to continue to grow. We know the type of player he can become, the type of player that the defense needs him to become, and that's all we want for him. And like the rest of the guys, I as a defensive coach and growing up and that being my background, I'm not going to get frustrated with stuff. There's always a desire and a passion to learn and grow and to get things to where they can be. And Ahmed is just an example of that, and that's why I love him, and as well as the rest of the guys. Ahmed works tremendously hard. It's not always perfect with him or with anybody else in terms of their execution, but we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for consistency, and I know we'll be able to build that.
Couple more.
As that applies to Taylor, what do you? I know the game just ended, Andy, but in terms of the next step or what you want to see out of him, how does he take that next step?
Yeah, just being able to trust the preparation in the pass game, and what we're seeing and how we're executing, the things that we prepare. I don't think it's an ability thing at all, and so for him to take the next step, the consistency, that we have in practice, we got to have that carryover into the games.
It was announced before the game that you had 7 guys out. Obviously, 5 of them were starters, 2 of them, including 2 captains. How much does that change the game plan? I know you aren't for excuses, but
no, there's no doubt. It's next man up, and that's where as we get into conference play here and we get, we're looking forward to getting some guys back and getting some guys healthy, but there's never an excuse. Riley and DJ came with us, but obviously they weren't able to go today. It's next man up, and that's again why we work to develop the depth of our team the way we need to, because it's a long season and you've got to have a second guy as you're working on a third guy to get ready to be in the game, and really in all 3 phases.
Early in the game, you guys were down there at the 1-yard line, had to settle for a field goal. I know there's a lot of games still to play, but just when you get opportunities like that and you just can't convert, just how frustrating is it? Yeah,
and you know what? Probably if that's the second time we're down there, that was the first time we were down there, and some of the things they did up front defensively probably didn't give us the reasoning to go for it on 4th down. There were some things that we needed to get squared away. If we got in that situation again, maybe with the adjustments we made and getting some things squared away in terms of what they were doing in that particular package that they put out there. But yeah, again, we had an opportunity. We put it on Mike a little bit quicker, and Mike's got a touchdown there early on, to start the game in that situation.
I know it's kind of a broken record. Ashton Genty had 4 freaking touchdowns today. 4th game this season out of 5 where he's been over 100 yards from scrimmage. At the end there, certainly seemed tired, but was on the field. Just how impressive does he continue to be?
Yeah, Ashton, you know, as he continues to learn and grow, again, still a young player that is maturing and developing and obviously becoming extremely productive on the field. Did a real nice job, and you know, in the 2-minute drill too, Maddox went to him a couple times, and he did a great job, you know, with the yards after catch. And then obviously in the backfield, early on in the game, it was very obvious by how they have adjusted, you know, what they had done on defense in their previous games, that they were going to do everything they could, rightfully so, to keep Ashton from having a huge day.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you guys.